Hello kiddos, welcome to Math Review. We are going to be going over our Math Review questions from yesterday. So go ahead and grab that. Let's start with the first one. What is 945,289 when rounded to the nearest 10,000? So I'm noticing that we're rounding to the nearest 10,000. I am going to write out this number bigger for myself over here, and I am going to label the place values on top. The problem says I'm rounding to the nearest 10,000, so I'm going to circle the digit in the 10,000s place, and I'm going to draw an arrow to the digit in the thousands place. That digit will tell me what to do with that 4. Either it will stay there or it's going to round up. 5 is closer to rounding up, so that means this digit is going to be rounding up to a 5. The digits after the place value I'm rounding to are going to stay the same, so that 9 is going to stay the same. And the digits that come before that place value I'm rounding to all turn into zeros. So that's a 0, 0, 0, 0. So our answer is 950,000, which is right over here, choice D. Give yourself a check if you got that right, or make any revisions. Let's move on to our area model question, 30 times 25. So notice how this area model is not decomposed into 4 values. It's just over here is a value and up here. So we have 3 values here. So that's because the 30 doesn't have to be decomposed. We only have a 3 there, 30. And now let's decompose the 25 into 20 and 5. The smaller space here is going to have the 5 to make it proportional, and the 20 is going to go over here. So now I'm finding the area of each of these rectangles. So I'm going to do 30 times 5. 3 times 5 gives us 15. And I'm going to add a 0, so we get 150. And now we have 30 times 20. 3 times 2 gives us 6, and we're adding 2 zeros because in reality we're multiplying 30 times 20. Okay, let's go ahead and line up our partial products and add them up. So we get 600 plus 150. And when we add those up, we get 750 as our final product. Go ahead and give yourself a check if you're right, or make any revisions if you have to. Okay, the next problem is asking us for the quotient of 1,224 divided by 9. So I know quotient means I'm dividing, and I also know this from the symbols over here. So I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger for myself, and I'm dividing by 9. I'm going to start off with the 12 here. How many groups of 9 can I make if I have 12? I can make one group. 9 times 1 gives me 9. 12 minus 9 gives me a remainder of 3, and now I'm going to regroup the 2 over here. Okay? I know that 9 times 4 gives me 36. That's too much. So I'm going to try 9 times 3, which gives me 27. Yep. So that means I can only make 3 groups. I'm going to report that up here. And now I'm going to subtract the groups that I was able to make. So I have 32 minus 27, which gives us 5. Okay? And now let's go ahead and regroup the 4. How many groups of 9 can I make if I have 54? I am going to continue recording my multiples of 9 over here. 9 times 5 gives me 45, and 9 times 6 gives me 54. So that means I can make 6 groups. I'm going to record that up here. 9 times 6 is 54. 54 minus 54, you're going to get a remainder of 0. And you get 136 right over here, B. Give yourself a check if you got it right, or a check if you got it wrong. Of course, you can always do a check over here to make sure that you have that correct answer. And I invite you to do that on your own, but we're going to move on so that we can get to our other problems. Okay. Try that. On the math review that I printed, you can't really see the parts shaded, but you can see it on the document here. So we're doing which fraction is equivalent to the one represented in the model. So the model is showing us 2 parts out of 6 parts shaded. So just based on that, I can already see that 2 out of 6 is not going to be equal to 1/6, so you can eliminate that. And 2 out of 6 is not going to be equal to 2/3. I'm going to eliminate that because the numerator is the same. And same goes with a 4th over here, so I'm going to eliminate that. So it's 1 out of 3. If I move this shaded part on the bottom down here, let's go ahead and do that so I can show you. If I move that there, and then I'm going to clear that out, no color there. So now let's see, 1 out of 3. Well, now I see that my shape here, my model, is broken up into 1, 2, and 3 parts. And there is really 1 out of 3 parts shaded. So 1/3 is the correct answer. Okay, let's move on to the line plot question, which we know is an area of need for us 4th graders. So we have how many vegetables measure more than half a foot long? So we're looking for all the vegetables more than half a foot long. This is the same line plot as yesterday. Yesterday we found all the vegetables that were 7/12, but it's saying more than a half. So I'm noticing that we're working with a denominator of 12. So I want to ask myself, what is half of 12? Half of 12 is 6. So 6/12 is going to be the half point over here, and that would be over here. I'm going to circle it, 6/12. Now I'm looking for all the vegetables that are more than a half. So that means all of these vegetables over here. So now I'm going to go ahead and count them so I can find the number. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have 7 vegetables that measure more than a half. Okay. So go ahead and give yourself a check if you got that right, or make any revisions if you have to. And finally, we have our last question. Mark all the lines of symmetry. I know that this cannot be a line of symmetry because this part is not the same as this part. This shape actually has only one line of symmetry going across over here. Go ahead, give yourself a check if you got that. Finally, we are up to our line plot POD question from yesterday. We were given this data set and we were asked to plot it on the line plot. It says use the chart to create a line plot. And yesterday we spoke about 1/2. We said if this line plot is dealing with fractions that have a denominator of 8, half point is going to be at 4/8. And then we also noticed that we have a 4th. So where are we going to place a 4th? I don't see a 4th. All we're working here is with 8s. So one thing that I want to do is I want to rename 1/4 to have a denominator of 8. I'm just going to do it over here. 1/4 is equal to what out of 8? So to get from 4 to 8, I'm going to multiply times 2. All we're doing here, by the way, is finding an equivalent fraction. So 4 times 2 is 8, and 1 times 2 is going to give us 2. So 1/4 is actually at 2/8. So I'm going to mark that 1/4 in parentheses to help me. Let's move that down here so it's easier to see. Okay, now I'm going to start marking my x's. So first, I have 3/8 here. 3/8. I'm going to cross it out, and I'm going to make sure I mark that on my line plot here. So that's one of the beetles that measures 3/8. And I have 1/8. Cross that out and mark it down here. 1/8. 3/4. Oh, that's another one that we're going to have to rename. 3/4. So let's go ahead and do that over here. 3 out of 4. Okay, and remember that we're renaming it to have a denominator of 8. So how do I go from 4 to 8? Multiply times 2, right? 4 times 2 is 8. And whenever I do to my denominator, I would do to my numerator. 3 times 2 gives us 6. So 3/4 is going to be at 6/8. So let's go ahead and find 6/8 and let's mark that as 3/4. So now that we know where it is, we're going to cross it out and I'm going to put an X there. Then I have a half, which we know is over here. I'm just going to put it over our mistake there. There you go. That's good. Then I'm going to cross it out. 1/8 we said is going to be over here. So we have another beetle that measures 1/8. Cross it out. Okay. 1/4 we said is equal to 2/8. So we're going to mark that beetle over here and I'm going to cross it out. 3/8, cross it out and put it on the chart. 1 is at 8 out of 8. Cross it out and put it on the chart, on the line plot I mean. Okay, next. 1/2, cross it out and put it on our line plot. 1/4, cross it out and put it on the line plot. 3/8, cross it out and put it on the line plot. And what is that? 7/8? Yeah, 7/8, cross it out and put it on the line plot. Guys, when I went back into the POD here, because I couldn't see it right on my copy, it's actually 1/8. So let's go back And let's make sure we fix that. So here I am, I'm gonna cross it out over here. That doesn't belong there, it belongs over here. Okay, so here is our finished line plot. And I notice that we should have 12 axes. Let's see if that's true. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep, that matches up. Let's go to part B. Part B is asking us what is the difference between the longest beetle and the shortest beetle. So here's the longest beetle, 8 out of 8, okay? So that's going to be 8 out of 8 minus, I know difference means you're subtracting. The shortest beetle is going to be all the way at the beginning of your line plot, the first X there, and that beetle measures 1/8. So I get 8 eighths minus 1/8, which gives us 7 eighths, and we're going to add units, inches. Good work today. Can't wait to go over the next POD and math review with you.